Okay, so we have a lot to unpack here. We just got a new developer's message just a few days before 1.1, and I'm happy with some things, and some things are worrying me. We're gonna get to that. Let's just start with it because it's a lot of things. Ecosystem new tuner synthesis feature. Now we can turn purple and blue tuners into purple and gold tuners. So those tuners you have on your bag that were useless, I don't know about you guys, but I have like hundreds of the blue and the purple ones. Now we're gonna be able to turn them into the gold ones, which is the one that matters. This is great. From what we see in the screenshot, you can use 5 to make 1. So that's the ratio, 5 per 1. That is great. We're gonna actually, I think a lot of people are now gonna have a lot of tuners and not enough tubes, which is the problem. We're gonna get to it. Increase unit experience reward for unlocking new Echoes entries. To the leveling experience and unlock the late game content earlier for all players, we have introduced unit experience reward for unlocking new entries of Echoes as of version 1.1. When I read that phrase for the first time, I was like, okay, that sucks, because what about us that like speed ran all the whole thing? We're not gonna get the experience, but here they're saying that they're gonna retrospectively reward the unit experience for everyone, and the compensation will be distributed via in-game mail. That is really good. Like, that is really exciting. I hope it's a lot of experience. Imagine if everyone just goes like 5 levels. I'm really just looking forward to know how much experience that is, because yeah, let's see. This one is really good. So what it means is, before, you notice that when you deliver all of your dailies, which are called activity points here in Wuthering Waves, you get an echo, right? People were complaining that you get cost 1 echoes from that because they are, they don't have that much value. So they removed that, and now only cost 3 and cost 4 echoes will be rewarded for activity points. So that means every day we're gonna get, if you're not farming echoes one day, every day you're gonna get at least a cost 3 or cost 4 echo. This is still based on your data bank level. So with the change that we're gonna cover right after this one, basically means that you're gonna get a 5-star, cost 3 or cost 4 echo every day from the dailies, which is a good, small addition, and I think it has value. Now this is interesting. Data bank level cap raised. After version 1.1, the level cap for data bank will be raised to level 21. And after reaching level 21, all echoes drop will be guaranteed to be a 5-star rarity. This is an interesting one. I was actually really shocked when I read this for the first time. I think in my mind I just accepted that level 20 would be the maximum and we would never get 100% guarantee, or at least, I guess in the back of my mind I thought that would take a long time for them to do that. And now every echo will be gold. That is really good, because I don't know about you guys, but even at level 20 I still get a lot of useless purple echoes. I was imagining that would come like a level 25 or level 30 in the future, and that they would take a lot of updates to implement that. This means they are hearing, they are aware of what we are complaining. So no more purple echoes. That is amazing. Next, new funny Mount Firmament Echo transformation. Apparently now this ice cube thingy is a new echo from the new area, and we can use it, like we transform into it to do the puzzles, which is interesting. Other optimizations: remove taste feed reward collection animation. That is good. That took a long time. That was like, okay, can we skip? It was really long. I'm glad they're doing that. Lower shell credit cost for echo leveling. That is great, because the shell credits are going really fast. And what happens is that I don't pay attention what I'm using them in, but apparently it was really high. I just noticed them going, I have like 1 KK and then just disappears after I do some things. But apparently it was really high. I actually did not pay attention to that, but it's good that they are decreasing. Simplify the cruise wing challenge. We have slowed down the flying speed of the cruise wing and extended the time limit to make the challenge more manageable. That is, if I'm not wrong, that puzzle where you become a bird and you have to, go through the hoops. Am I right? I heard a lot of people that play only on mobile complaining about that, and I tried it once to play on mobile myself, and it was actually quite annoying. So it's interesting that they are addressing even that. It's quite shocking to see. Events and other rewards, new Depths of Elusive Realm content, Dreams Ablaze in Darkness with raised event rewards. That's what we needed for people that continue saying that Depths of Elusive Realm was an event and not a endgame mode like permanent. So, this clear all the doubt. Depths of Elusive Realm is here to stay, and apparently they're gonna be adding new stuff from time to time. There is an event inside Depths of Elusive Realm, and it's gonna be called Dreams Ablaze in Darkness. And along with new mechanics such as tokens, symphony rank, and different mimic tuning available for you to create your own powerful build. And look at this, furthermore, the total event rewards will be increased to 1,000 astrites. So more astrites. I think from the looks of it, it's not very clear, but the cycle of Depths of Elusive Realm will be 1 per patch. So 1,000 astrites is still okay. I was under the impression that will be like bi-weekly, but apparently not. But it's good that they are adding new stuff already. With 1.1, we'll be already like the 3rd update, right? Because at the beginning of 1.0, we had some characters. At the second half, we got Jinling, and now we have this new event, which looks like it's gonna change quite a lot. This mimic tuning sounds interesting. I think we're gonna be able to tweak the builds and the buffs even more. So I'm really excited about that, and I want to know if you guys like that mode, because I already beat the whole thing, all the missions and the whole currency, and I completely cleared the shop, but I keep doing it because it's just so fun. So I'm really happy that they are putting effort into this, honestly. We're gonna get 2 new events. They're exploration events. One is area exploration and another is photo collection. Complete these events to earn up to 800 astrites. Resonance potions, which is the experience for resonators, and sealed tubes, which is the echo experience, and more. So great. This one is really good, really interesting, and everyone's gonna like it. They are increasing by 1. Before you could buy 6 of each. You could buy 6 of the limited pools for characters, limited pools for weapons, and the standard banner pools. And now they're increasing to 7, which is good, but a lot of people, including myself, complained about how the reset for the shop is per patch and not per month, which is really weird because like every other game is per month. They didn't say anything about that. There's a lot of people saying actually on Twitter that was like that just because it was the game was released so close to the end of the month that it didn't make sense for them to reset, but it's actually per month. So I guess only time will tell. We're gonna see with 1.1, from June to July, we're gonna actually see if it's per month or not. But I hope it is, because it doesn't make sense with it being per patch, right? So we have some more events here. 1.1 will bring a 7-day login event, which probably will give limited pools, the feature commission event, the feature combat event, a leveling material double drop event, and a echo drop event, and so on. So a lot of events, but since we got here to this point of the echo double drop event, I want to address what is happening. And if you're following the developer's message, you might be aware that in the last developer's message they said they were used a very weird phrasing to talk about how the echo experience will be improved, and everyone was really excited about that. The exact phrase that they used was like, in 1.1 we're gonna increase the yield of materials for echoes. So a lot of assumptions were made, a lot of assumptions. If you are on Twitter, you know people are saying, and I honestly believe that myself, that the only thing that they could mean is that the tasted field drops to be increased, because that's the main complaint of everyone, right? The echo materials are not enough. It costs 60 when it should cost 40, and the amount of tubes you get is extremely low. That is still everyone's complaint, but they didn't talk about that here at all. So what does it mean? My interpretation of that is that what they meant with the yield materials of echoes in the latest developer's message was the tuning theme. That's it. Never anything was said about tacit field drops being increased. And as I was reading this for the first time, I was like, okay, where is it? It's coming. It's coming. They're gonna say that it's 40, not 60, or that they increase the amount of tubes you get, but they didn't. So I don't know how I feel about that, to be really honest. There are people out there saying, oh, they already said, so they don't, they wouldn't say it again. But I really think that it's just not gonna happen, at least not as 1.1. But what worries me is that they are aware. They are aware that we have problems with the ecosystem, because if they weren't, they wouldn't have done this. I don't think they're gonna change it, because if they were to change, they would change it now. Don't you think for them to change the amount of materials you get and decreasing the stamina, or just one of the two, it would be easier to do this whole synthesis new feature? Well, I honestly don't know how I feel about that. I feel like they change things around what we want, but they didn't address what we actually want. Don't get me wrong, there are people out there saying they should make us be able to use any echoes, even if they are not leveled as fodder for other echoes. And I don't agree with that, because I think that would literally break the game, since the echo farming is almost unlimited. Of course, there should be time-gated stuff. It's actually, if you guys are not aware, this is the law in China. They cannot make that. They are unable to. Gacha games cannot do that. It's a law, because they have to limit the time. Well, limit, some people still play the whole day, but they have to limit the time the players can, get stuff. And that's part of the law, so that makes sense that you cannot use other echoes as fodder. I also don't agree that should be implemented. I'm not one of those people, but I'm saying that I still think that the echo drops are really not great, and that they should be either just decrease from 60 to 40. That would be already a great thing, because 60 is a lot. Or they should increase the amount of tubes you get. I personally think that the tuners were never the whole issue. If you guys use your crystal solvents, you notice that you have tuners left, but you don't have the tubes. The tubes are the problem, and they're still scarce. None of these changes are addressing that. I feel a little bit weird about it. I'm like, okay, this is all very nice. The level cap raise, everything's 5 stars now, the tuners, but the tubes are still a problem. And I guess we're just gonna wait and see. We're just gonna continue to send the feedback. That is too much. And in my opinion, if they just decrease from 60 to 40, it would already be a good change. But I guess only time will tell, right? I am still a little bit disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting that a lot. I have 65 crystal solvents expecting that I didn't use at all. I didn't use a single crystal solvent because I was waiting for that. But new Mount Firmament layered map. So Mount Firmament, the new area, will apparently have 4 layers, which is interesting. It's something new that we haven't seen yet. That's good that they're already implementing that. New area quest progress. Now you're gonna be able to see when you're in a part of the map if you completed all the side quests or exploration quests, everything related to that area in a screen, which is cool. This one is really nice. Expanded detection range for loot mapper. I don't know if you guys ever tried the loot mapper. If you haven't, please do. It's really good. And I'm really glad that they're making it even better. Were people complaining about that? Because it was already so good. But it's nice to see them improving things that were apparently not even that, requested. So now the detection range of the loot mapper will be bigger, which is amazing. I wonder how big that will be. And then there's these small things that are gonna get implemented. There's a resonator gallery for you to see which resonators you unlocked. Now you can read all the dialogue of the main quest in the screen, which I think is really cool. Sometimes I miss the dialogue. Actually, this was a feedback that I sent back in CBT2. Like we should have a history of things because sometimes you just skip and you didn't mean to, so that's great. This one is big. Level requirement lower for some main quests. For example, to access the Act 4, before you have to be level 14, and now you just have to be level 11. That is pretty good for new players. I think that is a great update. There's no need at all for you to do a cap, like you need to be this level to continue this quest. That never made sense to me. I'm glad they're changing that. This one is okay. You're gonna have new ways to complete your dailies because people are saying that the variety is too small. Basically, it's like daily quests, kill an overlord or calamity, cook something. It was quite okay for me, but sure, if you make it easier, I'll get it. So new combat style tags. I don't know if you guys saw that before. It's a really interesting screen. You can see like the forte, like what the character is really about. Like deceleration, which would be like Spectral Rover, or heavy attack damage, resonance liberation damage boost, you know. So now there are more tags, support and healer, burst damage dealer, for you to like filter the characters. I think it's a pretty cool system. They changed the chat box, which I actually never used, so I don't know if it was bad or not, but if they're gonna make it better, great. Now apparently it will be displayed at half screen height after the 1.1 update. There's like a couple of optimizations for controller mode, which I am not very familiar with. I still haven't tried that. That will be it for this developer's message. I'm really, split in between liking the changes and also not liking that they didn't address what I wanted to address. One thing is for sure, the way they communicate with the players and the way that they are implementing quality of life updates this early in the game is good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's really amazing. It's still very refreshing to see, but there's still the problem with the echo materials, and that's not gonna stop me from playing the game at all. I'm really into the game with the echoes being hard to upgrade or not, but of course I would like to see a change in that eventually. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.